Hey everybody, it's Carol with Refunction Crafts, and today I am going to bring you a video on some flower making. I had a subscriber that had mentioned something about, from my last video, that had mentioned, asked the question if I had ever made a video on my flowers. And I've done a couple of videos on like my rolled roses and some of my shabby flowers and things like that, but not on my ribbon flowers out of the satin ribbon. So I thought, and that's the ones that she was asking about. And let me see here. I need to turn the sound off here. Let's see. Okay, yeah, her name was Barbara. And so, Barbara, this video is for you. And I couldn't remember who it was that had asked the question, so I wanted to go back and check on that. So, Barbara, I'm doing this video in response to your question, and I know I had responded back to you letting you know that I would be making a video, so here it is. First thing I'm going to do is I'm going to read my inspirational quote for the day. The smile on my face does not mean my life is perfect. It means that despite my challenges, I choose to focus on my blessings. So I thought that was a really beautiful quote, so I thought I would throw that one out to you guys today. And it is something that I think I've actually been very successful at this year so far. I'm having what I would consider to be a good year, so I'm excited about that, and I just hope it continues to go in that direction. And not because everything is perfect, but because I'm choosing to keep myself in the positive and try and, you know, continue to just know that things are always going to get better. So that's what I'm choosing to do right now. So I hope you'll all do the same. Okay, so these are the different roses that I have made out of ribbon. And I'm going to actually do a few different flowers today. I had another one that I worked on last night, and so I wanted to show you guys what I was doing with that as well. So these are the flowers that I make out of the satin ribbon, and the satin ribbon is the best, and the double-sided satin ribbon is the best. So these are the flowers that we're going to make today. And just so that you guys know, I am going to be doing my video on my winners for my Etsy shop raffle and my YouTube channel 7,000 subscriber raffle. I have to work today, but I will be off tomorrow, so I'm going to work on both of those videos tomorrow to try and get those out within the next couple of days so that you guys will know who the winners are for that. So we'll be doing both of those raffles. And so I just wanted to let you guys know that. And then for the month of February, I'm thinking for my Etsy shop raffle, and this will be the people that spend $50 or more in my Etsy store. I think what I'm going to do for this raffle is I am going to make up a embellishment bag. So how I'm going to do that, I don't know. Maybe I'll make a pouch and then put everything inside the pouch. But it's going to be a surprise bag. I'm not going to show you guys what I'm putting in there, although it will be flowers. And I'm thinking maybe I'll do some of my handmade flowers. I don't know which ones. So I'll do some flowers and a little bit of maybe some images and some some lace bits, and just a few things, mostly things maybe that I've made that could be used as embellishments for you in your projects. So I have a feeling that that's what I'm going to do for my Etsy shop giveaway for February. So I'm still working on that and still trying to confirm that that's exactly what I want to do, but I think that's what we're going to be doing for the month of February. I think that'd be an awesome raffle giveaway. So anyway, let's go ahead and start on this, because after this I want to do one more video before I go and get ready for work. So let's get on our way here. The first thing that I'm going to do, I'm going to put this one aside because that's going to be next. My main focus is going to be on these ribbon roses. And these are the fabric roses that I do, and I made these out of a polyester chiffon, and these are some of my rolled roses. So these also come out really, really nice, especially if you have some polyester-ish chiffon fabric to use. And they really do come out nice. But these are the ones we're going to focus on today, and then I'm also going to do this one that I have this stuff set aside for. So first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to work on one of these flowers, and I'm using this particular ribbon. These are so easy to make, you guys. I'm going to leave my ribbon on the spool while I do this. And that way, let me get some glue sticks out here, because the one thing you do go through a lot of making these is glue. So I'm just going to put a couple sticks right there. So the first thing I should do is get rid of these glue spider webs that are all over my glue gun. Is I'm going to take my ribbon, and I'm just going to put a little bit of glue there. I'm going to fold it into a triangle, but I'm going to go over the edge of my ribbon there, just like that, because I want to have a tail to hold on to while I'm making these. So the next thing I'm going to do is I'm going to start with making the bud, the center of the bud, and I'm just going to turn it a little bit, put a little bit of glue on there. And I'm going to wrap that around a little. And so I've got the beginnings of my bud there. And I'm thinking maybe I need to come in a little bit closer on this so that you guys can really see what I'm doing here. Okay. And then all I'm going to do is I'm going to take this and I'm going to bend it back and make like a triangle right there. So you can see I'm taking it, I'm bending it backwards and making a triangle that just kind of where this part of the ribbon is going in the same direction as my rosebud. And so I've got that, and I'm going to take a little bit of glue just like that, and I'm going to wrap it. And you can see by folding it like that, it's starting to make the shape of a rose. I'm going to take that little spot of glue, and then so now I'm over to the edge of this. I'm going to take it and I'm going to do the same thing. I'm just going to fold it back and roll it around, and we're just going to continue to do this. Fold back and roll it around. And I just love the way these came. You know, I didn't think these were going to be that great when I started making them. And I did not watch a video to do these. I just started making them. I have seen videos where they do this process. Don't get me wrong. But from watching the videos that I had watched, they kept coming out just kind of funky. And they weren't coming out right. So I thought, okay, I'm just going to do my own thing, which I really think I'm kind of doing the same thing they were. Maybe I just finally got it in my head how to do it. I don't know. But you can see it's coming out nice and flat on the top, and that's what I like about these roses. And I'm trying to get these points, now that it starts getting a little bit bigger, your points start to get a little bit bigger as well. So it starts to really, really take the shape of a nice rose with all the points. And I try to get the points so that they come out in different locations so that they're not always popping up in the same spot. And that was the problem that I kept having as I was making these before, was that the points kept coming out in the same location. And so it wasn't, the flower wasn't spreading out the way I wanted it to. And so it was getting frustrating because of that. And you're going to get some of the points that are going to come out, you know, in the area that the other ones did, but eventually you're going to get around. See, like here, there's a flat spot. So this point is going to cover that flat spot there. And as it gets bigger and bigger, you're going to be, this gets kind of flatter and flatter. So you're just going to be laying the next one kind of on the edge of the last section that you did. And you can put your glue on the flower, or you can put it on the ribbon as you're working with it. So you can see it's coming out nice and round. And you can make these as big or as small as you want. You know, it just depends on how big a rose you want to make out of this. So you can just keep on going and make it bigger and bigger if you want to. I'm about to the point where I'm going to end this one because I just want kind of a medium-sized little rose here. And then what I'm going to do is I'm just going to take my ribbon here. It's all twisted because I left it on the spool, but that's okay. I'm just going to cut a piece off like that. And then I'll finish with what I've got here. And I'll take that under there. And I have this little point right here. I'm just going to put some glue on that and fold it right down underneath towards what I would call the stem or the tail. So you can see I've got my little tail here. It's got some strings on it. I'm going to leave that tail on there until I decide to use the rose. But there's that rose. Came out super duper pretty. There we go. Okay, so there's one down. And then the next one, I'm going to do one with this cream colored ribbon. And these are both with the same type of ribbon, the same brand. And I really, really love this ribbon, you guys. So I want to say that this ribbon was sent to me in Happy Mail at some point, and I really love it. So I have not purchased this ribbon, but I intend to look for it. It's called Floral Garden, and this is satin ribbon, and this spool comes in 18 feet. So it's very nice to work with. It's very soft and sleek on both sides. This is double-sided, so it's shiny on both sides. So I'm going to put my little line of glue there and make my triangle there, and then I've got my tail. And I'm not going to fold it back yet. I'm going to roll it to get the beginnings of my bud. Put some glue right here. And it's about time to put a glue stick in. Let me get my glue in here. Okay. And now I'm going to start with my folding back process. So folding it back. Back, and we're just going to keep going around until we get it the size that we want it. And this also works to make just small rosebuds. And that's what I'll do with the next one. Maybe I'll just make a little rosebud. And there we go. But I do need one more that's a little bit bigger, so I'm going to go ahead and make this one a bigger rose. But you can see once you get the hang of it, you can go pretty quickly through these in making them. So it's not too bad, and it's, you know, kind of therapeutic. And again, we're just going to take this, fold it backwards, just like that. Fold it backwards. And I'm just going to keep going around till I get this the size that I want it to be. And it's nice because you can see I've got this little tail that I can hold on to it with that makes it a whole lot easier to work with the ribbon. And the more of these you do, the easier it gets. It really, the process is really, really simple. It's just you got to make a couple at first, and you probably make a couple of oopses or whatever. They'll still be pretty. But, you know, after you've made a few of them, then you just kind of, it just comes natural to you. And there, it's coming out really nicely. And you can kind of work with it and adjust it if you feel like your points are coming out in the wrong places, because that happens to me. And I feel like, okay, my points are not coming out, you know, where I want them to. You can just kind of keep wrapping it where you're at until you get to the spot you want it to be, glue it down, and then start your petals again in that next kind of off location. Okay, so this is good for me on this one. So I'm just cutting it off, and I usually cut it at an angle here. Oh, got a little dot of glue there, and it came right off. Just going to take that glue down to the tip and roll it around. I don't think I got it on the tip there. No, I did not. I thought I did, but okay. All right, so there is that one. So we have two beautiful roses so far. Aren't those gorgeous, you guys? I love these. And then I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to make, we'll just make a cream colored rosebud. And I'm just going to start the same way I did before and start rolling. And this doesn't take hardly any ribbon at all to make a few little rosebuds. I'm still going to fold it backwards. But I'm going to try and keep it a little bit tighter now when I'm trying to make the rosebuds. I'm gonna come in a lot tighter with my rolls, and you can see that's coming out to be a nice little rosebud. And I'm only going to do this 1 or 2 more times, and then I'll be done. And I've probably used maybe a couple of inches of ribbon to do this. So there's my rosebud. I'm going to cut my ribbon here, just like that, and do one more twist, and we'll be all set. Okay. And there we go. We have a nice little rosebud. And you can see in contrast to the bigger one, how big that one is. Okay. And then I also have, you can even do this, you guys, with this. This is a 1/4 inch ribbon here. And this is also double-sided. It's a kind of a lavender color. And we're going to go ahead and we're going to make one with this too. Now this is obviously going to make a much smaller rose. Here's the one that I did before. I'm still going to do the same thing. I'm going to roll this center bit around. A little harder to keep a hold of this, I won't lie. This is a little harder to do just because of its size. But once you get the hang of it, and once you start going around and you get some of this on there, it gets a little bit easier. You just have to be a little bit more careful with your glue placement on these, because you don't want too much glue squeezing out all over the place. So just be careful about how much glue you put on there. And again, I'm just taking it and I'm folding it back the same way that I did on the big ribbon. And see, I got a little bit of glue on there, so I will try and cover that up when I go around with the next layer. Because you can do that. You can kind of cover up your oopses with the next round. You just kind of have the next flower sort of, or the next petal come up a little bit higher, and it'll cover up any glue spots that you might have, you know, towards the outside of that petal. But you can see this is coming out very nicely, and I've already covered up that little glue spot. You can't see it at all. And any glue you get down here, don't worry about that, because that's the part that's going to sit down on your project. Nobody's going to see that, and you don't have to worry about it. And the other thing that I'm working on learning to do is to make, to add a little bit of greenery to make the leaves on the bottoms of the flowers. Now the process is really technically very easy, you know, as far as the videos show. But for some reason for me, that process has not been so easy, and I think the problem for me is that I want those leaves to look like leaves, and even when you buy the little roses that are made, you know, packaged up and made, to me sometimes those leaves just look cheesy instead of, you know, the way that I want them to be. So, okay, so we've got a nice little rosebud here. So I'm just going to finish off this last little piece of ribbon that I've got here and wind it around. And there we go. We have a teeny little, and so let's see this in comparison with the last one that I did. So there's the cream colored one with the wider ribbon. Where am I going here? Okay, so this has the wider ribbon, and this is the 1/4 inch ribbon. And they're both very pretty. I'm sorry, you guys, I'm trying to get this where you can see it right. And it's the angle of my camera here. So there we go. Okay, so that's the difference between the two. They're both very pretty. And then here's my bigger roses. Okay, so there we go. let's bring this down. Oh, this is terrible. I think maybe if I do this, I'll be okay. Then I can kind of spin it around. Okay, so that's what they look like. Very, very pretty. I love these roses. I think they're really fun to make, and they're great, really great to use in your projects. So, so that's the ribbon roses. Now I've got myself. Oh, I was gonna try and do a leaf. Now you can see on this one, I've put leaves on it. And what I did was I used this sort of, this is almost like a lime green ribbon. And really all I did was take it and put a little bit of glue right there and fold it down and fold it down into a sort of a triangle. And then I took some glue again, and I just folded them over one more time. And there we have sort of a leaf shape. So I'm going to make 2 of these, and we're going to put them on one of these flowers here. But let's go ahead and make another one. Again, I'm going to put a little line of glue right there. Fold that side down and fold that side down, and there we've got that shape. And then I'm going to put glue in the center again, and we're going to do sort of the same thing. We're going to fold that side down and that side down, and there we have another little leaf. And we'll just cut this off. And let's see, this one's a little bit smaller, so I think we're going to go ahead and put these leaves on this one. And actually these look really nice. These came out really nice actually. So I'm pretty happy with my little leaves. Oops, that needs to go back a little further. And I need a little more glue back here like that. And there we go. So there's one with the little leaves on it. Pretty pretty. Okay, so those are my rolled ribbon roses. And then I'll probably make some leaves to go on these other ones too. I'm not going to do one with the thicker ribbon today because I want to move on to this other flower here. And then I have another project I want to do a quick video on. So this one, I am using some of the same fabric that I made these rolled roses with. And on this, what we're going to do is I cut out a couple of strips of this fabric. And I've got some bigger circles here. I have a few smaller circles here. I'm going to show you how I cut them. These are just squares. I started to cut this one and I realized I needed to do that in the video. So let's go ahead and cut these into circles. And this is just a stack of square fabric pieces. And these circles do not have to be perfect, you guys, so don't worry about making them absolutely perfect. Just get them round-ish. That's all you're trying to do here. Okay, so we've got some more circles. Those are kind of almost oval, really. Let's cut this a little bit more on this edge. Turn them a little bit more round and get these points off of this side. Okay, so there we go. Okay, so what we're going to do is And this is one that I've got already ready to rock and roll. So this is what I'm going to be doing to these in the end, but it's not going to look like that. So let's go ahead. And what I'm going to do, because these are going to be very jagged edged flowers, so I'm going to fold these circles in half in this stack, and then I'm going to fold that one over, and I'm going to fold that one over. Let's see, how did I do this last time? I want to try and make these a little smaller. And I think I can just round that out, and then I'm going to fold that one over. Like that. And I'm going to put them on top of each other. So I've got basically a cone shape, and you know what? We're going to do this way. We're going to do this side, and then we're going to do the other side. So all I'm going to do is I'm going to take, in fact, I'm going to do this. I'm going to take my cone, and I'm going to cut into these edges about a 1/2 inch. And then I'm going to do the same thing at this point. This is pretty thick and not going to be easy to cut. Let's see if I have any scissors at all that are going to cut through this. I may have to take these apart. There. Okay, so you can see they're kind of jaggedy. That's okay. I'm totally fine with that. And in fact, I think what I'll do is I'm just going to go like this. That would be like that. That would be like that. And then take this one and cut it in. Okay, and then I'm gonna do this one. So I'm doing 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, actually 7 sections here, because this one, let's see, actually I'm just gonna cut into this edge right here. There we go. And again, it's okay if these are not perfect, because now what we're going to do is we're going to take these and I'm going to sort of round out these edges a little bit on each section. And then I'm going to cut into these just like this. And they're just going to be jagged. And this is exactly what I did to the other ones that I have sitting here. And you'll see how cool those jagged edges come out. I just didn't have my other one quite as thick, and I should have just taken smaller sections of these, I suppose. But that's okay. We'll be all right. And I will take pictures of this one as well once I get it done. I need to go to the back and cut a little more jaggedy stuff into these back pieces. And I definitely do not want these sharp corners on the edges of these petals, so I am cutting those sharp corners out. take and just start jagging these up. Jagging them up, you guys. And I know this probably seems kind of weird what I'm doing, but trust me, it works. And this just proves to you that you don't have to do things perfectly. Sometimes imperfect is better. So you can see with this how jagged all of those edges and things are on this. See how jagged they are? And we've just got a whole bunch of fluff. So next, let's take this other one, and this one's a little bit thinner. So I'm going to take it, and I'm just going to go like this. This is how I did the first one. And then I'm going to take these two sections. And again, this is not as thick, and so it's cutting a lot easier. And we're going to cut into this one. And then I'm going to cut into this section. This section. And I'm just going in here. I can see where I need to kind of add some little jags in there. Jags. Is that even a word? It probably is not. It is not a word, but it's my new word. And I want to make sure I get this corner cut. And we'll get this one some jagged edges. And you can see this does make a little bit of a mess, you guys, but that's okay. So now, oh, let me cut some jagged bits into these back here. Just make sure you check both sides as you're doing this. And again, not worrying about being completely perfect. Okay, so those are all jaggedy. Again, that one was a little easier, so you can see how jagged those edges are. And I'm going to take, because I can see where some of these really need to be cut in a little bit more. So I'll do that now. And here we need to round that one out a little bit. Cut into it. There we go. Okay, and this will probably, these petals that I'm cutting here will probably make at least a couple of flowers. And I happen to have a nice piece of this fabric, so I can actually make a lot of these and still make my my rolled roses and my Shabby bows and all that stuff that I like to make with this fabric. I love this fabric so much, and I need to go and see what Joann's has and maybe get some more in some other colors. I'd like to get some like in a mauve, like a dusty rose color, and because I do like to work with the rose colors and stuff. So there's that one. And you can see I've got quite the mess here. Okay, and then let's take these little ones too. And this is only a few sheets, so this one I can probably take it and just do like that and cut through all of these. And I'm just going to round out all my corners, and these I can do kind of all together. And I'm going to jag them up. And let's see how this one looks. Okay. And I'm just adding some more little, taking some more chunks out here and there. Okay. All right, so there's that one. And so that's it as far as the cutting goes. And I know you guys I hope you're sticking around to see this, because when you see how great this other one looks, when I pull it apart and then start putting it together and making the flower, you're going to want to make some of these yourself, I'm pretty sure. So, get that out of the way. So all I'm going to do with these, I have a tiny little cup of water here. Has a little green piece of ribbon in it. A tiny little cup of water. And all I'm going to do is I'm going to take these, let's see, what did I do? I know I had some rubber bands sitting here. Here's 2 of them. I'm probably going to need at least one more rubber band. Let me see if I can find another one here. Here's one. And there's one more. Okay, so all I'm going to do is I'm going to take these and I'm going to dip my fingers in the water, and I'm just going to, this fabric is so thin and so floppy that I can get all of these petals wet very easily. And I don't want them soaking wet. I just want them dampened. So that's what I'm doing here. I'm just getting them all good and damp. Just like that. And then I'm going to take them and fold them, and then I'm going to crinkle them up just like that. I'm going to wad them up in my fingers, and I'm going to take the rubber band and just start winding it around and sending it in different directions. Getting all of these bits and pieces of petals into the rubber bands. Just like that. And this one might need a little more help over here on this edge. So just use another rubber band. And there we go. We've got it all balled up. And let's do these other ones too. And again, what I'll do is when I get this one done, I'm going to show you what we're going to do with it on this one. But when I use these petals and get these done, I will put pictures on the back end of how great they turned out, because I know they're going to be really, really pretty. So, and this particular fabric just has a way of making flowers look like real flowers. They have that look of just real petals. So that's part of the reason I like this fabric so much, is that it's really versatile and I can use it for so many things, and it just comes out great every time. So we've got that one all wound up. Let's take the little tiny ones and get them together, and then we'll make this other flower, and then this video will be done. Okay, so now I'm just going to take this and wad it all up. And wrap her up. And I don't know that I'm going to get my other video done today. It depends on what time it is when I get this done, because it's feeling like I may have to start getting ready for work soon. Okay, so we've got all three of those done up. They're all rolled up and rubber banded together. And I need, let's see, a little piece of paper towel here, because I did get some water on my tabletop here. Okay. And I'm going to put the water out of the way so that I don't spill it, because I'm really famous for doing that. And this is the one that I already did. So let's go ahead and take the rubber band off of this one. And there we go. And you can see, look at that, you guys. Look at how fluffy that is. And it's a little shabby. It's got some shabby edges, which is fine. This fabric here is actually a silky fabric. This is not the same as this fabric. So what I may end up doing is maybe I'll add a little piece to the end of this video, and I'll wait until these are dry, which means I won't be able to finish the video till tomorrow. But then I can show you exactly what these turned out like too, especially since they are with a different fabric. But let's go ahead, but this kind of gives you the idea, because I know this fabric over here is going to shabby up just like this one did. So we're just going to quickly start putting these together, and I'm just putting a dot of glue in the center. And kind of trying to put these in alternate directions here so that the petals are all in between each other. I think we're on 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, that's 5 layers. And this is a bit thinner than the other fabric as well. So there's 6. And I want it to be nice and big and fluffy. So there's 7. Eight. Let's see, I've got 11 pieces of this, and we are going to use all 11 pieces. And 11. So there we go, we've got them all together here. And now I'm gonna kind of fluff them up so you can see how nice and fluffy that comes out. Look at that. But we do need to put a center in this, so let's see what we want to use. Let's see. I've got this pretty flower that would be pretty in the center. Or we could use one of these. That looks really pretty. Have this bit. I'm going to save that for something else though that I have going on. Sorry, you guys, I should have had this all planned out. Maybe we'll use that one. That looks pretty. And I've got that, which we are not going to use because I do have something to use that for as well. What if we use one of these little flowers in the center? Actually, I think that might be nice. That one looks a little bigger. Well, that one's a little whiter. Yeah, we don't want a flat one. Because what I'm going to do, because this fabric here is a little more flimsy, I'm going to take, let's see, what do we want to do? Do we want to put a little piece of this in there? You know, I do like to add little bits of other things in there, so maybe we'll put one of those in there. And I have some eyelash trim here too. I think I'm going to take a little piece of this and just kind of place it in the center there. Just like that. Maybe we'll use, I think we might use all of this eyelash trim. Just to get a nice little fuzzy effect in the center. Put a little bit more glue. And there we go. There we go. So that gives you a little bit more fluff in the middle. And then I'm going to put a piece of this kind of coming out right there. Maybe right there. Okay. Just like that. And then I'm going to take this little I don't know if I like that or not. Goodness gracious, Carol. I feel like I want something that kind of sticks up like this flower does. And maybe once I put it in there and kind of fluff it up around it, that will do the trick. I think it will. I think it's going to be fine. Yeah, we'll just go ahead and use this. Because I'm going to take this flower and I'm just going to kind of fluff it up like this around that center flower. Kind of like that, so that it makes the flower fluff up a little bit more. And then I think what I'm going to do is take and go around this. I'm going to go to the inside and take some of these other layers and sort of push them up as well. That way we get all the fluff that we want in this flower. Like that. I just know this is going to be gorgeous when it's all said and done. I got real excited when I was playing with this last night, and it was just something I was sitting watching TV and it just kind of came into my head. I think I was looking at some stuff on Pinterest and I saw some little fluffy flowers that someone had done, and it just kind of gave me the idea to try this. And I don't think the flowers were anything like this, but it just, you know how sometimes when you're looking at one thing, it makes you think of another? And let's see, I need this edge to pop up a little bit more. So let's put a little bit more glue there and there. There we go. And then, let's see. No, I don't want to do that, but I was thinking I would like to have some kind of lacy something behind it. Something like that. That would be pretty. Because that has little bits that'll kind of hang out on different edges. Let's see. Well, I've got this piece. That actually works really nicely. I think we're going to use that. Let's put that on the back of it. There. And then I'm just going to take and cut out some of these mesh bits that are in here, just to clean it up a little bit. Not all of it, because we still want it to be sort of a shabby flower. There we go. And let's see, do we need anything else on there? Just looking for a minute, you guys. I just want to make sure Oh, look at how pretty that is. I might use a piece of that on the next one. But I think we're going to leave this one just like this. So, that is it for this video today, you guys. So we have our ribbon roses. Well, no, this is not it. I'm sorry. I take that back. I'm going to work on these, and I will be coming back to you guys and showing you. We'll put these together in the end of this video, and then we will be done. So for now, I'm through the magic of YouTube. I will be back in just a moment with these finished roses. Okay, so I took out some goodies that we can put on this last flower that we're doing. I just gathered a few little bits and pieces here just to see what I want to embellish this last flower with. And here's our little balls of flowers. So let's go ahead and finish this one up. And get these rubber bands off. That's not always an easy task because the rubber bands get kind of caught up in the fabric sometimes. And what I ended up doing was I actually took earlier in the day and used my blow dryer to kind of dry this up a little bit to make sure it kind of got dry through to the middle. And hopefully this fabric curled up like the other one did. This little section is just the small section that I did, the last few little bits and pieces. And then we've got this section. And one more little roll of fabric. This one I ended up putting 2 rubber bands on. Okay, so that's what we've got, and you can see they're kind of fluffy and curly and pretty. So it looks like these are the biggest ones here. That one's pretty big. And that one's pretty big. Actually, these are probably about the same size as those. So let's go ahead and start putting these together. I'm just gonna put a little dot of glue there. I'm seeing that some of these I feel like didn't get real jaggedy, but that's okay. We're good. We're just going to go ahead and put this together just the way it is. And I want to use a lot of pieces of this because this is a thin and really floppy fabric, so I want to make sure that that it's thick enough and fluffy enough. And I'm just taking off some of these sharp corners here on a couple of these pieces because I don't want them to look sharp. And then you can even take this once you get all of these bits and pieces together and you can snip into them and make them, you know, even more fluffy, you know, more sort of out of shape. I know usually we're trying to whip things into shape, but not in this case. We want to whip it out of shape. So I've already been to work, and it's 11 o'clock in the evening now. So I just figured I might as well go ahead and do this tonight so that I can put this video together in the morning and get it up so that you guys can see it tomorrow. So I've got a lot that I want to do tomorrow as far as videos are concerned. I'm going to count my Etsy shop orders so that I can get that winner figured out. And we're using a whole lot of these. I'm just going to use all of these in this one flower. And this was a couple of strips of this fabric, and like I said, I kind of have a lot of this fabric, so I figured I just want to make a nice thick fluffy flower. Okay, and now we'll put these little ones in the center. This one, I think I want to cut into it a little bit more. And maybe what I'll do, actually, here's what I'm going to do. I'm going to take these smaller ones and I'm just going to cut into them like that so that these will be really shabby. And again, you guys, these are something that I haven't done before. So these are kind of just an experiment for me. And if they don't turn out, they don't turn out. And actually, there's no way this is not going to turn out because this is actually looking really, really nice. And it's going to be really exactly how I intended to cut it up. So I don't think I can ruin it necessarily. I mean, I suppose I could, but I don't think so. I think this is going to be really pretty. And there we go. There's another big fluffy bit. And actually, you know what I'm going to do? I have another idea. I'm going to pull that one out. And I'm going to take it and just fold it in half and just kind of put it together like that so that it's nice and fluffy. And I'm going to glue it down. I need to put a little glue in the center there. Just like that. And what I did was I put the glue on there and then I kind of rolled it back a little bit so that it would pull the edges apart so that they're not real consistent. I kind of wish I had more than 3 of these, but that's okay. We'll make this work. Going to put a little bit of glue in the center there. And we'll put that one right there. I'm just getting all kinds of glue stuck to my hand here. That's okay. Okay, so you can see how it's getting all nice and fluffy in the center here. And I'll put this one last piece here. And here's what I'm going to do. I'm going to put my glue down like that. Pop that in the middle. And again, pull it back. And then get this piece. Just like that. So you can see, look at how pretty that is. Well, I'm going to be doing another one of these. It's giving me some other ideas here on stuff that I can do. So I'm going to be coming up with some others. And now I'm just going to go in here and I'm going to make these other petals around the edges a bit more jagged. Just like when they cut your hair sometimes and they're looking to get more of a feathery look to your hair. And you know they take your bangs sometimes and they cut into them kind of wonky. That's what I'm doing to this flower. Kind of like I do on my rag quilts when I do those. I just cut into the edges and make them nice and shabby. So there we go. Nice and shabby. And I'm going to just shake this out over my trash can here to get out any little extra pieces that are laying around. Okay, so now we've got that. And I think I'm going to add some other bits and pieces just kind of around it. And I've got some lace bits and things that I thought maybe I might throw in there. Okay, so I've got this little bit here. Maybe if I go, this is just a half of a doily here. If I go like that, and I mean I could take like, I've got this piece here. I could take that and kind of put it under it, but I really don't want that much color. I've also got a lacy piece, but then that takes away from it too. So, but I think these little, these other little lacy bits poking out like this will look really nice on it. See, doesn't that look nice? Let's see, what other bits and pieces do I have here? I've got like this one, but I don't want to put anything big like that under it either. So I've got this piece of lace. I could take and cut a couple of pieces off of this. And take it. That way I can have some of these little pieces kind of sticking out and maybe use some of this crisscrossy stuff. I'll just cut a couple of pieces out like that. And what I really wish I had, and I just don't know if I do, I'm going to look real quick here. I've got another piece of doily. I don't want to use that one. I've got this that's tea dyed. Let's see. Got this little gold piece that might look pretty under that. Or I've got some lavender. And I've got this little piece that I could kind of throw in there with the lavender. That would be pretty. Let's see. And I'm just digging through a bunch of bits and pieces that I have here, you guys, of different laces that I can cut up and maybe just kind of throw in behind it. So, okay. We should have plenty there to play with. So let's see what we want to do here. These pieces, they're really not going to do much for it, but what I could do is kind of use that as a bottom, and maybe then start putting some of these other bits sort of on top of that, so we kind of have a base to use to get started. I think that's really pretty. And then I've got this little bit here, and if I just maybe take that and have a little fluffy bit sticking out. And I'm just, right now I'm just throwing these on here, you guys, just to see if I can come up with something kind of different and unique and kind of playful. Something like that, and then throw that in the middle there. Yeah, I'm just kind of not liking the way this looks behind there, so I don't think I'm going to use that. I do have this other little doily that I could poke out like that, and then maybe use this piece on the other side. I like that beige kind of coming out there. I do like that a lot. Kind of have that poking out. And maybe I might just use like a little piece of this gold like that. Not using the whole thing, because I don't want to use this whole piece if it's not going to show. So we're going to cut this and just have the edge of it poking out, and that way I still have a nice little piece of this. And actually what I can do is put a couple of other pieces of this coming out in a couple of other spots, and then I can kind of use the whole thing, but it's all showing. I do like that gold in there though. I like that a lot. So there's a last little piece. Whoopsies. Okay, so I've got that, and then maybe like a little bit of white underneath that gold, maybe. And I think probably what I'll end up doing is maybe putting this flower into my Etsy shop giveaway packet that I was talking to you guys about earlier. Maybe this could be part of that packet giveaway. Put that in there. And this I think I'm going to cut up a little bit further. Maybe have a little piece tucked under there. See, that looks kind of pretty, just kind of poking out. Yeah, so we're gonna start gluing this all together, you guys. And you can see this little doily has some staining on it. That's okay, because that part of it is not gonna show. So we're just gonna pop these together. And let's see, we'll pop just getting some of these little sticks out of this that are popping out. Oops, don't want to put that there. Put a little bit of glue there. And we'll pop that one right there. And it's obviously not going to look like much so far because I'm just kind of popping these bits and pieces in awkward places right now. That one in there. I've also got this little peach colored leaf. But when you add peach into something, you're limiting the use of this flower somewhat, because peach doesn't always go with everything, especially if you're doing something with like pinks. Your peach is not going to go very well with that. And I personally, at least that's in my opinion. Now, I know that some people like to put peach and pink together, and that's fine. I am just not one of those people. I don't think peach and pink, in my eyes, go together very well. And you can see I'm just kind of popping things around here. And it, like I said, it doesn't look like much yet, but I think ultimately this is going to be really, really pretty. Okay, so we've got lots of gold in it. We'll pop a couple pieces of these in there, and this I'm going to nip some of these edges off, just because some of the edges are not real together. That like that. Okay, and then what we're gonna do, oh, I had a couple of these little fan bits as well that I was gonna throw in there. Okay, and then I think I'll just kind of get under here with some of this. I honestly think this is going to be really, really nice. And I have learned through doing a lot of these appliques that I make. I used to really worry about, you know, how it looked as I was putting things together. And I would think, oh no, that can't possibly go like that. It's not going to look right. And then in the end, I would end up putting it together in kind of the hard way. And it would look great. And I did what I wanted to do in the first place, but took the long way around. So I'm learning, you guys, to just kind of take some risks. And this is just a piece of lace that came in one of my Happy Mail packages, and it's just a strip and it kind of goes in different directions and stuff, but it's very pretty and it's got pearls in it and stuff, so I thought, you know what, why not throw a piece of that in there too. So that's why I took out all these little bits and pieces. Okay, we'll throw that one out there. And we still need to put this piece in there somewhere, and I think I'll just have that sort of pop out right there. And through this I can still see that gold. I don't know if you guys can see it through the camera that well, but I can still see the gold sequins popping through there. So, okay, and then I've got this little bit, and these will go on sort of last because I need to figure out where I want them to go. And these are just some dangly pearl bits on ribbon. And I've used these in a couple of things already, and I do know that they look pretty just kind of popping out and hanging out of things. And I'm not going to use that for sure. Okay, so let's get some of this stuff out of the way. No, we're not going to use that. Okay, so here's our original flower. Let's not get that lost. And so you can see that's just going to kind of sit on top there. And I think I'm going to maybe pull another couple of pieces of this lace into it. Maybe, but we want the pearls to pop out, so I need to let it come out a little bit further than I had the other pieces come out. There. Okay. That kind of looks pretty, kind of just popping out the side like that. That would have been, that'll be a nice applique. I might have to try that and do an applique with some of that. Yeah, I think I'm going to cut a little bit of this pink lace up as well, and maybe have that poke out in a couple of places. What I think I need to do though is I really think I need to get my flower down where I want it to be. I'm going to put it right there. Right there. Okay. And let's see, where do we want these to pop out from? I don't know. I'm actually thinking the pink is a little bit too much. I don't know that I want the pink color in there, but maybe I do need maybe just a little bit of white. Yeah, I like the white better. So we need a little bit of leafy white pieces. So we're going to put this one here. And I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to cut these leaves. Okay, so let's pop a couple of these leaves in here. Oh goodness. That one. And that one. Nope. Okay. So now let's put these little bits in here, and I think let's see, where do I want to have those coming out from? That's a nice spot right there. We'll pop this one right in the center of those two. So we've got those three little pretty pearly bits coming off the side. I might actually like to have a couple more of those, I think. This is the little string of those that I had. And I think we'll pop these in. Let's see. Do we want to put them over here on the other side? Yeah, I think I'll pop these in over here on the other side. And this is one of those things that you can just continue to just build on until you get it exactly the way that you want it to look. And this is one of my favorite things to do, is to just build and build and build on something until I have it the way that I want it in the end. And I'm almost always thrilled to death with the outcome. So there we've got it. And I think I want to glue these leaves down a little bit better right here so that these pearls aren't getting caught up in the leaves. Okay, so there's that. Now we need our centerpiece, and I've got a bunch of little bits here. I've got this, which would be really pretty. I have this little piece that's very colorful but doesn't really do much for it. And then I've got a smaller, this is like a snowflake piece. And then I've also got this one. I'm going to pull this is a old vintage clip-on earring. And it's very, very pretty. And that would also look very pretty in the center of that. And it's nice and big. It needs something big that will stand out. I've got another little vintage earring here that I wanted to test. That one just doesn't show up enough, I don't think. And then I've got just my little resin flowers. But I am feeling, and then I've got this too that I thought I might put in here somewhere. But I'm not going to put it in there if it's going to get lost. And I'm already can tell it feels like it's just going to kind of get lost in there. And this is definitely one of those pieces I don't want to use somewhere where it's not going to, where I'm not going to get the most out of it. Okay, so now this one is really, really pretty in this flower. I'm really feeling good about this piece, and I'm feeling good about this one. Let's see. This one just really, really goes with this flower really well. So I'm gonna snip this bit off because I don't need that. And this is actually kind of an oval shape, but I'm not concerned about that. I'm okay with an oval shape. This is something else that I have that I thought about cutting a piece of it off and having it kind of come off of here. But again, it's another one of those things that, now, if I was going to use this whole piece like this with the flower on the top of, say, a memory box or something, can you imagine how beautiful that would be on a memory box? Holy moly. So ultimately that would be an amazing, amazing piece to put into a project. Look at that. Oh my goodness, is that gorgeous? And I love the beige and the white together. I think the two together just complement each other. And with this, if you were gonna, you know, do a piece like this, you can even add additional flowers into it. And really, really make an amazing. Now, if I was going to turn this into a applique, say that I was going to sell in my Etsy shop, this would be quite an expensive applique because there's a lot going into this. A lot of expensive bits and pieces. You know, as far as this applique is a very valuable applique. And all of the extra pieces, the pearl pieces and bits and things would just, look at that, you guys. Oh my goodness. Wow. A big part of me is saying I think I may go ahead and finish this off and save this piece to do a really spectacular box with. I think that's what we're going to do, you guys. I'm going to finish this flower off as an applique, and you guys might as well be here for that. while I finish it, because I really feel very strongly about this. And when I get something that I'm working on and I get a strong vibe from it, that it feels right, I tend to go for it. And we're going to go for it on this one, you guys. This is just too pretty to not do. Oh my goodness. Let's put our center in. I'm going to put quite a bit of glue on that. And we'll put that just like that. Oh my gosh, you guys. All right, let me cut off the tail on this. And I think I'm going to go with those two flowers on that side. And I'm going to cut a little more off of this one. And I don't think, let's see, what else do I have in here? I don't know. You know, a couple of these might actually go nice in this, because these are a kind of a muted thing too, and to add a couple of those, oh my gosh, you guys. I'm so glad I decided to come back and do this as a video so that you guys could see this piece finished, because I really think this is awesome. I'm super excited about this. Oh my goodness, am I excited. Okay, we've got those there. We're going to put this one right here. So let's get that in there. And then we'll work with some of these other flowers. To go in here as well. So cutting off the tails on these. And I've got a lot of them in this color. I'm just not sure what sizes and which ones I'm gonna use. I'm definitely gonna use these little rosebuds for sure. I'm just cutting off the tails on all of these. Okay, so we could go, see now that one I kind of feel like is too big and too much. This one, same thing. I'm not crazy about it. So I think really what I'm going to end up doing is just using rosebuds. And so maybe I'll use this little tiny one here, and I'll use the other one coming off of those flowers there. And then I don't have any rose buds in the cream colored ones. Let's see. Well, you guys, I don't know that I'm going to use those now. I am feeling kind of like I don't think that that is gonna really go. So, I mean, it's weird that when I first put it on there, it looked awesome. Let's see. I did want to put a piece of this in here somewhere too, maybe 2 pieces. Let's see, where did I put that? But again, I don't want to hide these, so I'm going to make sure that those are, if I'm going to use these are going to be visible. I want you to be able to see them. Oh my word, this is so pretty, you guys. I'm sorry, you guys, if this is taking a minute, but I want to make sure I put these in the right spots. So it takes a minute to figure out exactly what I want to do. The neighbor's dog is going crazy outside. Okay, let's see. I don't know. I may end up... Why does this keep happening to me? Okay. That looks pretty. Maybe what I need to do is to just take this coming off of these flowers here, or this flower I should say, like that. Yeah, that's what I'm going to do. So I'm going to put this one right here, coming out from this flower, and this one's going to come out from these 2 flowers. I need more glue. Just like that. Okay, and then very quickly we're going to take a couple pieces of our awesome pearl strand. We're going to do it just like that. I'm just going to kind of twist it together here. And let's put a piece right here. And we'll twist this one up. And you've got another beautiful spray there. Put that one right there. And let's pop that down. And all I'm doing is taking one of the little petals from this flower so that I can push that over the top of that and push it into the glue. like that. And I want to make sure I get plenty of this in there to get the effect that I want. And we'll put a piece coming off right here. And with this, I can just see exactly where I want this to go. Get my pearls out of the way there. And I probably need one more little spray of that coming out somewhere around in here. And all I'm doing is I'm kind of looping it and figuring out kind of how I want it to come out. And let's see, we've got those pearls there, so I think I'm gonna try and pop this up under this one flower here, or maybe that could just, no, that's, I think this one needs to come out right about there. I know it's close to the other pearls, but actually it is on the other side as well, so that's going to be just fine. Okay, we've got a nice little spray of pearls coming out there, and I think that's gonna do it, you guys. Look at this piece of gorgeousness. There we go. What do you guys think? Please leave a comment down below. Let me know. Let me get this stuff out of the way here so that you can actually see. And actually, I've got some brown paper here. It's a little bit darker than the wax paper is. And we'll just put it on top of that. Look at that, you guys. Is that not beautiful? Oh my goodness. I love it. So anyway, so that's my shabby flower that I made. And it's a lot of hoopla around that little flower, but I really did love the way it came out. And as I started playing around with it, I just couldn't stop myself. So that's what we got from that one. So anyway, you guys, I hope you enjoyed this video. And Barbara, I hope you enjoyed learning how to make these little ribbon roses. They're awesome. And, you know, there's so many projects you can use them in. And I'm sure I will be using these very, very soon in one of my next projects. I've got, like I said, a bunch of things in my head right now that I'm considering and I'm working on and I'm thinking about. So look at, even that would have been really pretty in there somewhere, kind of popping out. Look at that. But I don't want to put peach in there. So anyway, thanks so much, you guys. God bless you all. Have a great day. Have a wonderful February, and I'll be seeing you shortly in my next video and announcing the winners of my Etsy shop giveaway and my YouTube channel giveaway. Good luck to all of you. I hope you made comments on my my YouTube giveaway video, and if you didn't, you know, you might still have a little bit of time. Not after this video. You won't have much. if you are watching this video, you might be able to hop over there if I haven't announced the winner yet and get in on it. But anyway, thanks so much, you guys. Have a blessed day. God bless you all. Take care. Be safe. Be well. And I'll see you soon. Bye-bye.